All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wahawadash. I want to say double honor to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone for teaching his word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to my fellow Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And this is the brother Gabar YAHAWADAH from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another lesson. And this lesson is going to be entitled, We're going to Rule with Dignity. We're going to rule with class. Okay, and the inspiration for this, I was just meditating on a video that Elder Yashawamba had did, and he was speaking about how when we use concubines, we're not going to have sex slaves, which is a good lesson. And I got midway through it, and then I thought about it like, yeah, like we're gonna have class, man, when we're ruling these nations, man, because Esau, Edom, he is not ruled with class. He definitely did not rule in righteousness. He definitely did not rule with the intent to treat us as a people, as a nation of people. Okay. And this man, he ruled us in anger and in evil and wickedness, man. And we're not gonna rule like that. And so this is Isaiah 14:6. It says, He who smote the people in wrath with a continued stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. And the nations whom Esau ruled in anger, because this is about Esau. This is a taunt to the king of Babylon, and we know that the king of Babylon are you Edomites. You talking about you starting off with you top elites. Starting off with the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. Then you have the king of Babylon, which is your president. But anyway, let me keep reading. It says, again, this is Isaiah 14 and 2. I know it's not 14:2. Slakia. It says, where was I at? Oh, right here. 14:6. Slakia. I'll start at 5. This is Isaiah 14:5. It says, The Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, have broken the staff of the wicked. And we know that the wicked is Esau, Edom. So we know that this taunt is going to you Edomites, man. You are the wicked, and your staff is being broken. A staff is a symbol of rulership. Okay, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepters of the rulers. Okay, he who smote the people in wrath with a continued stroke. Right, this devil, as he ruled over us, he did it with a continued stroke, meaning he just kept on hitting us. He kept on breaking us, kept on oppressing us. There wasn't a break in it, oppression. And that go for all the tribes, Judah, all the way down to Issachar. Okay? Every last one of the 12 tribes have been persecuted. We've been persecuted by this devil, and we're a nation. And also Esau, Edom, he's ruled these other nations in deception and evil too. But the nation who he really ruled over with a continued stroke is the children of Israel. And where each tribe is a nation unto itself, man. All right? He who smote the people in wrath with a continued stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. So you're going to be persecuted and no one's going to hinder that. No one's going to stop that. No one's going to jump in the way. The black woman is not going to jump out of nowhere and cover you and say, leave him alone. That's not going to happen. So it says for that Hebrew word for hold is hashak. Okay. And it says to withhold, to restrain, to hold back. So when you persecuted, there ain't gonna be no mercy in that. You're not gonna be no sparing. There ain't gonna be no refrain. There ain't gonna be no hold in check, because you did this to us. And we're still being oppressed to this very day by this devil. All right, and that's not the way you rule, man. There's a balance to things. Okay, our iniquity had an end, but instead of you telling the Israelites who we were, you lied to us. You told us we were African Americans. You make fun of us. You make movies. You got monuments to our destruction. Like this is a monument, a sculpture of slavery. And these are put up all over the world, all over the United States. The children of Israel, you so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, Latinos, Native Americans, our story here in Babylon the Great has been nothing but oppression, man. Non-stop. And that's not the way you rule over people. Okay, that's not the way that you rule. Like when we rule, again, we're gonna rule with class. Okay, we're gonna rule with class. For 1,000 long years, you nations, starting off with the nation of Edom, Esau, Edom, you're gonna go through hardcore captivity, but it ain't gonna be like the shit that Esau put us through. Yeah, y'all gonna go on slave ships. You're gonna be brought over to Israel to build our land up. Y'all gonna be packed on cargo slave ships, but the way y'all did us was just unconscionable, man. You know? And I wanted to get in a couple of things, and that's what Elder Yashawamba video inspired me to do that and meditate on it and you know, try to do my own edification for it. And again, we're gonna rule with class, man. This is real quick before I go back to Isaiah. This is Ecclesiasticus, Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 10. Okay, verse 1. It says, "A wise judge will instruct his people." You Edomites, you didn't instruct the people. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. And this place is out of order. Under this man's government, his rulership, his dominion, his power over the people's minds, he has corrupted everything. He's deceived everybody. We're not doing that. While this man on this side, he ruled in lies and in deceit, we're going to rule in righteousness and in truth. So everything that happens to you nations is going to be well warranted. Okay, but even still, we're going to do it with class. You know, it says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And you see that now. You see the super elite, and I'm speaking to the super elite. I'm not talking about Joe Biden. He's just a puppet. But you super elite, you're nasty, you're despotic and despicable at the top. So your officers are the same way, including your presidents, your prime ministers, your senators, your high-level politicians, even your low-level politicians. You got our people that's in these positions too, and they're just as wicked. So, because why? Because as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. And that's why this place is all out of order. It's jacked up. And there's no order here. It's nothing but chaos. And through this chaos, Esau thinks that he's gonna reestablish his kingdom out of chaos. That's not gonna happen. A correction is coming by the manner of YAHAWADAH, SHAMAYAWAN. All right. So it says, unwise. I'm sorry, let me read that at verse 2 again. As a judge of the people is himself, so are all his officers. And what manner of the man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. An unwise king destroyeth his people, right? Because we're under your rulership, right? Are we not? We're under the management and the rulership of Esau, Edom. But this man, he'll destroy his own people. There's plenty of stories and literature on how when Esau had children with Israelite women that were in captivity, he put them in slavery, man. The scripture says, "He that is evil to himself, to whom shall he be good to?" Man. All right. This man, he's destroyed and destroyed and destroyed, and he's never stopped, man. Why? Because he's been ruling in anger. This is Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. We know the wicked is a so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Starting off with the super elite, you Rothschilds. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right, and he's done that. You've covered all the faces of the true judges of the earth, which are the Israelites. You made a depiction of your own self. You painted yourself, and in the minds of the people, you painted yourself as the Heavenly Father, his Son, his people. All the while, you got the Heavenly Father's people, the Heavenly Father through his Son, YAHAWADAH, people in captivity until this very day. All right? So it says an unwise king destroyeth his people. Right. This dude's destructive. Then they'll say, well, you know, during slavery, not everybody got whipped and beat because we were a commodity. Slavery, the brutality of slavery varied from the Caribbeans to the USA, but that don't mean that it was easier either way. You know, our lives didn't matter to this man. When this man got us into captivity, he did whatever he wanted to do with us. He did whatever he wanted to do to the man. He did whatever he wanted to do to the woman. He did whatever he wanted to do to the children. And that's literally any and everything. You think of it, he did it. The whole medical industry was set up off the blood, sweat of the Israelites, man. From the man to the women to the children. This man became a doctor, a physician, by being a Frankenstein, man. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And no one was there to stop him and say, wait a minute, these are human beings. You shouldn't do that. He just did it. And now his medical industry makes billions and trillions of dollars each year. And he's not bringing life to this world. He's bringing death. He's the man of sin. He's the man of perdition. He's a man of destruction. But when we get into power, we're going to bring what? We're going to bring life through YAHAWADAH. We're going to bring righteous judgment through YAHAWADAH. We're going to rule in class because there's a righteous way to have servants and deal with your servants, and there's a wicked way to deal with your servants. Slaves, whatever you want to call it. There's a righteous way to deal with them and a wicked way. And Esau, Edom, you've dealt with us the wicked way, and you've never addressed it. There's never been any redress. There's never been any so-called reparations, which we're not looking for that from you, because we understand that all of those things are going to come through YAHAWADAH. So again, Sirach chapter 10, all right, verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Okay, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. Because right now, Esau, Edom, you're not profitable for the earth. You're not profitable for rulership. That one that's profitable is YAHAWADAH, man. And then the King David, the rest of the apostles, the rest of the 144,000, the governing body, the elect. Okay, we're going to rule this place in righteousness. Real quick, this is Proverbs chapter Proverbs chapter 29 verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So even though we're going to have you nations in bondage for 1,000 long years, it's going to be better than what Esau did to us. We're not going to be raping nobody. We're not going to have to. Like my man, why would I rape? We're not going to have to do no shit like that, man. We're not going to be sexually assaulting your women and children and your men. We're not going to be doing no shit like that. We're not going to be having sons lay with their mothers, daughters lay with their fathers, so that you can bring more slaves. No, why would we do that? That's wicked. That's not a righteous way. So even though you nations, you're going to get dealt with, and you're going to be broken into the pieces. And I'm saying that slavery is going to be a cakewalk, but it ain't going to be what Esau did to us. So when the righteous, and even after you get 1,000 long years of slavery, you're going to live again. You nations are going to live again. You're going to have an opportunity to have your portion in the kingdom. Which your portion in the kingdom is going to be the land that you receive. Okay, you're gonna get that your land back. The only nation that's not gonna get anything, because he's not gonna be here, is Esau, Edom. Your land is gonna be given to the tribe of Judah, man. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse Revelation 20 and I'll read at 4. And I saw the thrones and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And that's the elect, because the elect is not going to take that chip. That's what the mark of the beast is. And the elect is not going to take it, and therefore we're not going to worship you. Our life in our hands is in YAHAWADAH, SHAMAYAWAN. Lord willing, we be part of the elect. All right? And some of us will have to perish for that, but that's all right. We're coming back with Yahawashi immediately. And it says, neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Yahawashi 1,000 years. That's that first 1,000 years of rulership. It's not going to be like 1,000 years and Yahawashi is going to disappear. No. That first dominion, it belongs to the elect, starting with Yahawashi. And it says, but the rest of the dead, now this is talking about the other nations, but the rest of the dead live not again until 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection, right? So these other nations, they're going to live again, meaning they're going to get their lands back. They're going to get their lands back. They're going to get a monarchy. Okay, they're going to have rulers over them, and we're going to be ruling over the monarchy. We're going to be ruling over the people, the elect men, our children, our sons. They're going to be ruling over these heathens, man. These heathens are going to be subject to us, but yet still, with all that being said, you nations, you'll be able to live again, man. Again, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Right, the people going to rejoice because it's going to be a righteous society, man. When we give out judgment, it's going to be righteous judgment. It's not going to be that shit that Esau does, man. He'll have you be a so-called innocent of a crime here, and he'll throw you into a prison for 20 and 30 years. We're not even going to have prisons in the kingdom of heaven, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got millions and billions of people across the earth right now suffering from manufactured famines. Okay, you got millions of people packed in these densely populated cities with all this arable land around it, but yet none of these people can touch it. You got people living in squalor when resources are plentiful on our earth. But Esau, being the devil that he is taking these resources and hoarding them to himself, and he's really not even doing nothing with it. He's using a weapon of scarcity. In the kingdom of heaven, there's not going to be no scarcity. Everybody going to eat. Every tree that bears fruit is going to have fruit on it. In this society, in this kingdom, you don't have that. In order for you to get an apple, you got to purchase it. Shit, in order for you to get water, so-called good water, you got to purchase it. You see? But in the kingdom of heaven, in the righteous kingdom, all these things are going to be free, man. You paying rent. You paying land tax on things that's supposed to be your inheritance. That's not going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So the people are going to rejoice when the righteous are in authority. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And that's what's happening right now. Because this devil is ruling, the people are mourning. Chiefly the Lord's people, the Israelites. This is Jeremiah 50 and 33. Thus saith the Lord, YAHAWADAH of hosts. The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captive held them fast. They refused to let them go. Just like ancient Pharaoh refused to let us go. We know that the Lord hardened his heart, but still, nonetheless, he refused to let us go. And this is the same mindset of you Edomites, man. Again, when our time of destruction or captivity had an end, what did you do? What did you do? This is Ezekiel chapter 35 verse 5. Ezekiel 35 verse 5. Okay, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Right, and that's what you did. Because you hate us perpetually, you continuously shed our blood with the force of the sword. And in the time of our calamity, our baseness, our destruction, what did you do, man? You didn't end it, man. You didn't tell us that, hey, y'all the Israelites, you're God's people, okay? Here, your land is the land of Israel. Go back to your land and establish it under your God. You didn't do that. You kept us right here in America. You kept us right here in America, and anywhere else we are at across the world, from North, Central, South America to the East India, to Africa, to the Saudi Arabia, wherever you were scattered at in captivity, you didn't let us go. And then you are confederate with all the other nations around about us, the heathen nations, and y'all plotting together to keep us in captivity so that we will never be able to rise again. But guess what? We are going to rise again. And we're rising right now, right in front of you. The Lord, YAHAWADAH, is setting us in order right in front of your eyes, man. Raising up the true rulers, the true leaders of the earth, man. The true leaders of the world, of the universe, man. Okay? Again, we're going to rule with dignity. We ain't going to do no shit like this. With you nations, y'all going in y'all going to get all of this. Starting off with your super elite. You're going to get manacles. You're going to get, chained up. You're going to get beaten up. You're going to get your backs beat, too.
This is searingly powerful. Yeah.
And you got the sellouts of our people. The sellouts of our people, they'll go to a monument. But these niggas ain't telling you the truth either. So they got to be destroyed because you corrupted our people with your money. Your so-called money. You can see the horror on Jake's face. You can see the desperation and despair. On Jake's face. These are Israelites, so-called Negroes. All right? Tribes of Judah and Benjamin, Levi. You had Gad go through this too. We ain't gonna do no shit like this.
Here are 5 things you didn't know about black children during slavery. Number 1, black children were fed like pigs.
Yeah, even that. We were fed like pigs, man. They basically fed us slop, and it was all abominable. That's not gonna happen in the kingdom of heaven. Now, y'all can get old meat. That's in the scriptures. But listen, even that's gonna be more righteous than the most so-called cleanest meat you can get on this side, right? This devil, he gave us trash to eat, man. Abominations, and then our people made delicacies out of it, and then he continuously feeds that stuff to us even to this very day, man. Go to these stores, you find nothing but abominations up in there. In the kingdom of heaven, guess what? Ain't gonna be no abominations. Even if you in slavery, you still gonna eat properly. You're gonna get the proper righteous nutrients that make the human body perform at the highest level, man. Even the water that you drink is gonna be clean. Versus what we get today.
Because there were often many babies to be fed, they were fed out of troughs.
Yeah, you fed us out of troughs, man. Like animals, like pigs. And the food that wasn't, if you can call it food, that wasn't food, man.
Children fed like pigs out of troughs and being supplied sparingly, invariably fight and quarrel with one another over their meals.
And they still do that to this day. Esau feeds you sparingly, gives you trash to eat, but yet he'll have you fighting over meals, man. That used to happen, man.
Their food often lacked nutritional value and led to malnutrition.
Yeah, so here it is. We're supposed to be your so-called property, right? You got these Edomites talking about, not all slaves went through this. They were a commodity, so why would they destroy them? Look. The food, the stuff that you gave us and called it food, it was all trash. It was malnutrition. The same thing you're doing today. In our kingdom, there's not going to be no McDonald's on the goddamn corner. There ain't going to be no Burger Kings, Subways, Church's Chicken, Harold's Chicken, or Kentucky Fried Chicken. None of that crazy crap, man. You're gonna get real food. You're gonna get things that are righteous, because in our society, in our kingdom, we're not even touch abominable food, man, let alone sell it in the store, man. A pig is never going to be died. A pig is never going to be killed and eaten, man. Are you serious? Hell no.
Number 2, even children's games were oppressive.
Everything were oppressive. Everything, going back into what? Jeremiah 30:16. It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. And all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go, man.
In the common game hide and switch, one child would hide a switch, which is a branch cut from a tree commonly used for whippings. And whoever found it first would then chase the others in an attempt to whip them.
Yeah.
Number 3, children were often forced to have sex.
There you go. That's never going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. You're never going to do no wicked evil. This is wicked and evil. Bro, you heathen nations got it coming, man. You Edomites, especially you Edomites, man. But guess what? I always say, ain't nothing like a righteous ass whooping. A righteous ass whooping is always one of the most horrific ones you can see. It's one that you got coming. And one that's done the right way.
The more enslaved people an owner had, the wealthier he was. Therefore, children were often forced to have sex in order to procreate. They were also used as sex slaves.
This is not going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. This is wicked. That is wicked. YAHAWADAH is going to destroy you Edomites for this shit. And like, see, you don't want to talk about these things because they're horrific and, oh, I don't want to think about it. But no, you better think about it. Because this is what this man, these are just some of the things this man has done. You don't know the half of what this devil has done, let alone a quarter. Joel 3 and 3:1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my lands. And that's what you've done. You scattered us through these different wars that you had on us, destruction that you had on us. This Atlantic slave trade was huge. And you took our land over and you parted it with the other heathens. And they have cast lots for my people. They cast lots for my people. And had given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. So you gave a boy for a harlot and you sold the girls for wine, for rum. And you sexually assaulted our children, man.
Childbearing started around the age of 13, and by 20, the women slave would be expected to have 4 or 5 children. Number 4, ages at which children were required to work varied. Almost half of the interviewees in the slave narrative collection recall being put to work before the age of 7. Boys and girls were required to take water to the fields, tend to the animals, and care for younger children, among others.
And see, we kept other people's flocks. Hey, let me get that real quick. Let's go to Deuteronomy real quick. Let's go to Deuteronomy. I'm trying to make this video concise, but it may go a little longer than I anticipated. But just bear with me, stick along, and be edified, Lord willing. It's Deuteronomy 28, and let's go to I think it's Deuteronomy 28. Let me see if I can find the word flock. Yep, it says Deuteronomy. Yep, Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 18. This is one of the curses. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, which is our children, and the fruit of of thy land, and increase of thine kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Okay. So it says it's yeah, that's one of the curses, man. And then look, we were tending to other people's gardens, but we weren't tending to our own. We were building other houses, but we ain't dwell in them. Let me get that real quick. This is Deuteronomy 28:30. Thou shalt betroth the wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt, because in our custom, no one lay with our wives except us. We would get our wives when they were virgins. But when we went into slavery and captivity, Esau laid with our women first, man. Or she might have been married to another man on another plantation, got sold, and became another man's wife. And even in this society today, continuing in this society today, the women that we get, they're not typically virgins. Thou shalt betroth the wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build in the house, and thou shalt not dwell therein, right? Whose house did we build? You Edomites, man. But yet you take no accounts of our labors. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shall not gather the grapes thereof. That's right. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thine face, and shall not be destroyed. I'm sorry, and shall not be restored to thee. That's right. They took everything away from us, and they didn't restore that. Hey, see, but when we get you nations in slavery, we're gonna take everything away from you. We're gonna restore to you what we took. Basically your land. Because really, in reality, everything that's in the earth belonged to the Israelites anyway. But even in that, we're not gonna be oppressive with it, man. That first 1,000 years is gonna be brutal, but it's gonna be righteous brutality. It says, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. Boom. This is an example of that. Boys and girls were required to take water to the fields, tend the animals. They had to work before they were 7. So you worked out children. And they got plenty of footage of Jake in the field at like 3 and 4 and 5 years old, man. Had to pick hundreds of pounds of cotton a day. Can you imagine what a young child had to go through under that searing heat? Yeah, a baby. There's a picture of a little boy in slavery, and he got a little knapsack on his back, right? And it's just horrible. We got people being casted for lots, you know. Let's see if I find this picture. Yeah, right here. Look at this, man. This little dude ain't got to be no older than like 3 years old, maybe, if that. 2 or 3 years old. Look, he in the field, in a cotton field, picking cotton. You know? He was Esau's entertainment as children. You know? But I mean, your kid's gonna get it too. Your kid's gonna get it too, but come on, man. It ain't gonna be what you did to us, man. Y'all niggas is out of control, man. Esau ran by the motto, if you can walk, you can work. But that's okay, man, because again, we're gonna rule with class. We're gonna show you how to do this. We're gonna make what you did to us in chattel slavery look like child's play. We're gonna make what you did to us in the Roman captivity and the Greek captivity looks like child play. Look like child's play.
Duties. Number 5, high death rates. Children who were born into slavery were exposed to many traumas. This led to high infant child mortality rates at almost twice the rate of their white counterparts.
Yeah, so they worked our children to death.
Thank you for watching.
They worked our children to death. They worked our children to death. They worked all of us to death, man. This man, and you Edomites gonna get worked to death, man. Oh yeah, man.
By 1860, it is estimated that more than 2 million slaves in America
or under the age of 20.
And they didn't even, that shows you the disrespect that they still have and discontent that they have for us by just keep calling us slave. We're not slaves. We're the Israelites. We're not blacks. We're not Latinos. We're not Native Americans. We're the Israelites. We're not Mexicans. We're the Israelites. But yet, that's what they call you, slaves. That's like calling somebody an insurgent. So when you call somebody a slave, you basically take the humanity away from them. But guess what? The true slaves are you heathen nations. You're the true ones. We're not the slaves. You heathen nations are the true slaves. Okay? Jeremiah 49:12. Jeremiah 49:12. Okay, it says what? For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunk it. And that was us. That was us. Because the Lord didn't create us to be slaves to you heathen nations. He created us to be kings and priests on the earth. But because of our iniquities, our rebelliousness, we were put into your hands. And you Edomites, you think that you're not going to have to get repaid for that. It says, for thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. So you're going to drink of this. It says, for I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Basra, it was a chief city in Edom, modern day Basra is America, shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. I have heard the rumors of the Lord, and ambassadors sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her. That's that great war, this third world war that's coming against you. And rise up to battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen, despised among men. And that's what you Edomites are. Even amongst these heathens, they're playing you in a trick bag. You think they with you because they agreeing with you? They with you in that, but they're taking what they can and getting the hell up out of here. You know what I'm saying? They deceiving you, and you don't even know it. Because the Lord made you that way, and you are greatly despised amongst these nations, man. But wait till you get in the chattel slavery. Wait till we get you in the hardcore slavery. Thy terribleness have deceived thee. That's right. And the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. We know this is talking about the Edomites. That holdest the height of a hill, though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle. You've done that. I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. Also, Edom shall be a desolation. Every one that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss and plague and hiss at all the plagues thereof. So this is for you, Esau, Edom. This is for you. You gonna get this. You gonna go through this. Your children gonna have to go through this, but they're not gonna have to go through on a level that we went through it, man. Like meaning, all of that weirdo shit that you was doing, man. That all of that crazy, creepy, kinky, nasty, kinky, nasty, sex man shit that you doing, man. You don't have to go through that shit, man. Even it's gonna be so thorough that hey, your whole family will go into slavery. But guess what? We ain't gonna separate them like y'all did us. Therefore shall what's the scripture I was looking for? Daniel 9:12. And he hath confirmed his word which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven have not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem. So no other nation has suffered what we suffered. I don't care any time that you were taken over by Esau, Edom, or one another, you still ain't go through what we went through.
By 1860, it is estimated that more than 2 million slaves in America are under the age of 20. Even in infancy, slaves were viewed by their masters and by society as a whole as monetary assets, not as legal persons. These two young boys were photographed in 1864 in New Bern, North Carolina, a city that was captured early on in the Civil War by Union troops. This brother and sister were owned by Thomas White of Matthews
Look,
County,
this
Virginia.
is the clothes that Jake had to wear, rags and tattered. You Edomites gonna suffer that. Y'all going to that, man. Y'all can forget the Versace, Armani, Louis, these private tailors. Them shits are gone. Y'all gonna be wearing this.
Until they were turned over to the Society of Friends in Philadelphia. The photograph is entitled, As We Found Them. This photograph of a family of slaves in a cotton field in Georgia was taken around 1850. A family on Smith's Plantation in Beaufort, South Carolina in 1862. These photographs were circulated by the Union Army to encourage African American boys to enlist.
Yeah, look at that. They even put you in the war as children. You are child warriors, man. You know, hey, it is. This is nothing but propaganda. You got Jakes and Tattards, man. Tattards, bro. I mean, and it sucks, but it's the truth. Proverbs 11:10. When it goeth well with the righteous, the city rejoiceth, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting. Hey, we're gonna be happy when you wicked perish, man. The whole world gonna be happy when you perish. When the righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory. But when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. When the wicked, Proverbs 28:28. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves. But when they perish, the righteous increase, and that's what's about to happen. When you Edomites finally get destroyed, the righteous is going to increase, man. This is I typed in laws on slaves in the Bible. It says the murder of slaves by owners was prohibited. The owners were the Israelites. So even when we get slaves, we ain't allowed to murder you. Now you're gonna be put to death righteously, but we're not gonna murder you. It says the murder of slaves by owners was prohibited in the law covenant. The covenant code clearly institutes that death penalty for beating a free man to death. In contrast, beating a slave to death was to be avenged only if the slave does not survive for 1 or 2 days after the beating. So, you know, hey, you slaves you gonna get beat, and then a couple of days later you might perish, man. We ain't gonna get put to death anyway because we're gonna be righteous, you know. But there's a righteous way to do something. In Esau's society, he would kill a slave like it was nothing. You would get beat to death for running away, man. You'd get beat to death for stealing a piece of food, man, to satisfy your hunger. You get beat to death for reading the Bible. Getting caught reading, period, you get beat. You get beat to death for running away, man. This man's a devil, man. He don't know how to rule. It's Exodus 21:1, man. But when we rule, it's going to be righteous, man. We're going to do it with class, man. Everything is going to be done with class, man. Everything, because you got to understand something. Akwath. I mean, you got to, Salakia, you got to understand something. Akim wa Akwath. Okay? Everything this man has done to us, everything you know and learned outside of this truth has come from your oppressor. So the things you think you like, the things you think you love, the things you think you want to have in the future, all of that comes with the idea of the oppressor, man. YAHAWADAH is elevating us and taking us to a higher level of thought, man. Okay? When you are the most comeliest, when you are the most powerful, when you are the most righteous, when you are the most loving people, people naturally come to you. You don't have to force people to do nothing. They're going to want to do it. You understand? Okay? When you do things, it's on a higher level, man. You know, that first 1,000 years is going to be hardcore. And guess what? For eternity, the heathen nation is going to be a workforce for the children of Israel. But guess what? In the righteous kingdom, when you work for us, we're talking about after post-slavery, okay? You nations, when you come to work for us or anybody else, you're going to get paid the same day with gold or silver, okay? You're going to get paid when the sun go down, man, every day, all right? And you're going to get a righteous sum, man. You know, just that in itself. Because in this society, you work for Esau, I think they say like you work for Esau like 2 weeks free out the whole year that you work. When you first start to work, you like they call it 3 weeks in a hole. Like 2 weeks in a hole or 3 weeks in a hole. So it take about 3 weeks for you to get your first paycheck. And then all throughout the year while you working, because they take so much money from you in taxes, that's amounts up to like 2 weeks of free labor, man. That's wicked, man. And then on top of that, your wages are taxed. Oh, I gave you $100, but give me 30 back because you got to pay taxes. Wicked. Now, this is Exodus 21:1. Now, these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, because at times you had Jake that fell in a lowly state, and you would buy your brother for in slavery, but you didn't rule over him in perpetuity, and you didn't rule over him in rigor. If thou buy if thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. You see, so he ain't got to pay his way out of his servitude, man. You had Jakes that had to buy their slavery from Esau and still got thrown back into slavery. And this is after they had been slaves for 20 to 30 some odd years, man. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife of her children shall be her master's. The wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And most of the time, Jake stayed because they wanted to be with their kids and their wife and kids, man. It says, I'm gonna skip down. This is hold on. Yeah, check this out. If verse 7, and if a man shall sell his daughter to be a maid servant, she shall not go out as a men servants do. So she ain't going to the field, be working all hard and shit. Nah, man, she gonna get easy duties, man, for a woman. If she please not her master who have betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed, meaning let her be free, man. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he have dealt deceitfully with her. Why? Because even when she came unto him as a servant and he took him unto himself, he lay with her, man. You see? So he can't be deceitful with her. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of a daughter. See? So if we had a Hebrew woman and she was given to we gave a Hebrew woman, she was our servant, but we gave her to a son, one of our sons, we would have to treat her as a daughter, man. That's respect. Even our concubines are going to be happy, bro. They're going to be dealt with like lesser wives, man. That's all. We ain't going to have no covenant with them. But they're going to be taken care of, bro. And if he take him another wife, her food and raiment and her duty of marriage shall not diminish. Let me see something. Salakia. This is Leviticus chapter 25, verse 38. I am the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahawashai, your God, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan and to be your power. And if thy brother that dwelleth with thee be waxen poor, this is the reason why he would become a servant unto you, and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bond servant. Let's look and see what a bond servant is, because that's what we are in this society. Ibad, this is a servant, a slave, a servant, a man servant. So we're not supposed to treat our brothers like that. You know, there's a way that you treat the poor in your society. In this society, you got people that are driven into poverty and into a poor state, and they never get redeemed. They live and die in poverty. That's wicked. Okay? In our kingdom, it ain't going to be no poverty. It says, and if thy brother that dwelleth by thee waxen poor and be sold unto thee, thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant, but as an hired servant and as a sojourner. He shall be with thee and shall serve thee until the year of Jubilee, which is, that came, I think, like every 7 years. Let me look at that up. The year of Jubilee. Hebrew word there for Jubilee is Yahawabal, and it says the trumpet, the cornet, a Jubilee mark the blowing of the cornets. Okay. I think this was every 7 years. Salakia. This is Leviticus 25:40. But as an hired servant and as a sojourner, he shall be with thee and shall serve thee until the year of Jubilee, that's every 7 years. So after that, he's supposed to be let free. And then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his father shall he return. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt, and they shall not be sold as bondmen. But that happened in this society. That happened here. You Edomites done that to us, man. You're going to pay for that. Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor. So you're not supposed to rule over an Israelite with rigor. You know, even King Solomon didn't even do that. It says harshness, severity, or cruelty. So us as brothers, we aren't supposed to treat each other like that. Obviously, it happened, but now you Edomites, you're ruling over us like that, man. You see? It says, thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shall fear thy God. Both thy bondmen and bondsmaid, these are the servants and slaves, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy as bondmen and bondmaids. See, you ain't supposed to do that to us, but we can buy you heathen nations as bondmen and bondmaids. You took our nationality and everything, and then you put that to yourself, and you claim that you're us, and so you doing us like that. The heathen are the bondmen. So right now we're slaves to the slaves, man. But Yahawadah is coming to save us, man. Moreover, the children of strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy. So yeah, those strangers are the other nations, man. They're children. And of their families that are with you, which they beget in your land, they shall be your possession. And ye shall take them as an inheritance. So you heathen nations are our inheritance, man. You're always going to belong to us. But just because you belong to us don't mean we're going to run you into the ground, man. After that 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, you nations going to be able to be released to your countries, that your inheritance, a land that the Lord gave you, and you're going to establish your lands. You're going to have kingdoms. You're going to be under our rulership. Your laws and your statutes and commandments are going to be our laws, statutes, and commandments. We're going to teach you our laws, statutes, and commandments. You're going to have to learn the hard way, but we're going to teach you nonetheless. And you're going to have to worship our God. Ain't going to be no more y'all worshiping these idols, man. That's not going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. Again, we're going to rule with class, dignity, respect, honor, integrity, and truth and righteousness. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them as a possession. So our children are going to inherit y'all. They shall be your bondmen forever. Y'all going to be our bondsmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor. You see? Again, we're going to rule with class. First Thessalonians 1:6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. You see? So this is going to be righteous. This retribution, this payback is going to be righteous, baby. Revelation 13:9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. You heathen nations drove us into captivity. You Edomites and the rest of you heathen nations, you're going into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. You did that to us. You killed us with the sword. You're going to be killed with the sword. You're going to be punished with the sword. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. So all our adversaries are you heathen nations. So every one of y'all are going into captivity. Ain't going to be no island of Japhites running around buck naked doing wickedness and evil, conjuring up demons. Everybody's going to work. Ain't going to be, no one's going to be unaccounted for in this captivity, man. And they shall spoil thee and shall be a spoil. And all that prey upon thee will I give thee for prey. So y'all going to be spoiled. Y'all going to be our prey. That word for spoil, that word for spoil, it says plunder to spoil. Shawas. Okay? We're going to plunder and spoil y'all. Okay? The other word for spoil, booty, spoil, plunder. Okay? Going to the Hebrew word, Mashasa. That's what they used to call Esau, Massa. That's where you get the term master from. That's what Jake was calling you Edomites, Massa, not master. They were calling you Massa, which means plunderer, man. You Edomites gonna pay for this, bro. You know? I know this is kind of long. I wanted to just try to give an insight on, the captivity that we're going to have. We're going to have a kingly rulership mind, man. We're going to have a kingly righteous rulership and mindset. And when we put these nations down, as the scripture says, when we put these nations down, we're going to rule over them, but we're going to do it with some class, man. Esau, he ruled over us as a man with no class, man. No understanding. Man, kept us perpetually destroyed. And you heathen nations, y'all going to know who y'all are, because right now, y'all don't even know who y'all are. Calling yourself Chinese, Japanese, Arab. No. House of Moab, Ammon, Ishmael, okay, the Assyrians, I forget the name, Assur, okay, Ammon, Japhet. That's what y'all going back to. Y'all gonna get y'all Hebrew names back as the Lord gave y'all those names, man. Okay? And y'all gonna be broken down in y'all tribes, man. And y'all gonna know who y'all are according to the Bible. We're gonna tell you the truth. Okay? And the world language is gonna be Hebrew. The real Hebrew, so-called Paleo Hebrew. The language of the gods, the Israelites. The language of the Most High, YAHAWADAH. Okay, so I hope you were edified. I know this is kind of long. I pray that you're edified, and Lord willing, to the next time, I'll say shalom and on to the next.